As you went back and watched the tape, what seemed to be working in that fourth quarter as a whole for the offense?
Gap schemes probably. Run-wise or just plays in general?
Yeah, in general.
Oh, by that time, a lot of things opened up because we were playing. When we scored that touchdown, I think it was like 5 minutes left on the clock, and I mean they was just playing heavy run, what they was doing all game. So a lot of the passes were hidden. So kind of was our game really started working. Just run the ball and try to get some guys to pack the box like they did and just play action and do what we got to do.
Najee, you talked after the game about keeping that good vibe you had going. How do you go about doing that, and are you still feeling it?
It was more the mentality, I was saying. Yeah, we're trying to keep that mentality. I mean, that's what we need the rest of this season. That was kind of more like how the Ravens game last year was, just that dog mentality. We kind of need that. That's what we need. And I think we did a good job. We just got to keep that carrying on. This is a really good team right here. They got a really good front. They are really good players, especially their defensive coordinator is really good too. So we have some ideas of what they're going to do, and we'll try to execute the plan.
How much is that mentality bolstered by the fact that sometimes you got in the red zone, not only they turned into touchdowns, but you ran it in, you accomplished that agenda, it seems like.
Yeah, man, it's easy to run it in. It kind of shows something to the opposing team because, the one thing you don't want to do is run it in as a defensive coordinator because there's no harm in that. It's like you got to pass it, put it in the air, and, it could be all type of trouble doing that. So, us running it in was good. If we keep that going, it'll be good.
Do you guys see anything to this Kenny fourth quarter stuff that he turns into a different person or flips a switch or anything?
Kenny fourth quarter?
Kenny, yeah, like what his success in the fourth quarters of these games, these game-winning comebacks, he's for these touchdown drives. Kenny Pickett.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. I got a cold. So
yeah, you good, boss. I don't know, man. We're just all playing football, I guess. Kenny did a good job.
Najee, why are you guys so successful in big games?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're scary. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
Scary in what way? Scary?
I mean, yeah, because it could go either way. I mean, it's the NFL, though. Every game is not going to be a blowout. But, I mean, since I've been here, it's been literally all tight games.
Is there something to be said for just being used to being in that position?
I don't know.
Is it fun at all to be in that? I mean,
is it fun?
I mean, do you get energized or get adrenaline?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Because, it's going to come down to the plays, the playmakers and the plays. So, I mean, yeah.
Kind of miss some of those non-conference games at Bama, those type of results.
Oh, it would be nice to have some of those, huh?
Do you think it does speak to that dog mentality that you've been talking about, that you got to kind of will your way to find a way to win?
Yeah, man. That's the best way. Yeah, we will that way. We're always prepared for a 15-round fight. That's what I always say. We always have to be prepared to play through, 5 quarters, even that being overtime. So I say 5. But just us having that mentality, I think it helps us persevere. But to your point, man, it's scary sometimes.
Najee, you mentioned those penalties, and Mike talked about you guys have to do a better job of feeling out the tenor of an officiating crew. How do you do that? How do you relay that to each other, take the temperature of what they're going to call, how close they're calling it, that kind of thing?
The temperature of
the tenor of the officiating crew, whether or not they're going to be looking for stuff between the whistles.
Oh yeah, because I almost had one. They said I was talking with the other guy, but I mean they should know the difference between guys competing and guys, really saying some stuff that I heard. It wasn't like that. Me and 50, I forgot his name, but the linebacker, we exchanged a couple words, but it was more of some competitive stuff. And he went to Coach T and said, "Hey, 22 is blah blah." So I stopped, and I think did George have one? Yeah, George had one, but it's not like that. We're just competing. It's competitors. You know what I mean? The game is tight. You want to make plays, and you might have a little bit of chit chat. And, we just got to find a balance where, when it's too much and when to stop. And that's just something we could fix easily. Discipline. Deontay, I think. Did Deontay have one too? Yeah, Deontay too. This receivers and DBs, that's just normal. They're going to do that every play.
After the Pickett sneak, Chooks was getting into it. The guy got in between him and separated it. Do you take that upon yourself to help, help
Of course.
a lot more?
Yeah. Last year too, actually. Shit, I've been here a couple of times. I've always been doing that. But we just got to strike a balance between, when is it too much? You know what I mean? And see like where we at situational. That was the time we were trying to close out the game, and penalties we didn't want that. So I saw that happen, and I just try to get in between that and just back everybody up, and be like dissolve all that issues that's going on.
Young running back making his way in the league. What do you know think about Travis Etienne? Do you have any thoughts on him as a peer in the league?
What was your question?
What do you think about him as a peer? His skill set, his talents. What can you speak about as far as he goes?
We was in the same class together.
Yeah,
You know that, right?
Yeah, this is as a peer. Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player. Him and Trevor coming out of Clemson, both two talented guys coming from a talented program, and they really changed that program around. I think in Jacksonville, they're doing really good. So it's a good battle. I always take everything as competition. I won't say that wouldn't be in my mind. Like two of the backs coming in and competing against each other. So. He's a great player, So is the quarterback. They got good receivers. They got Calvin. Shout out to Calvin, man. That one guy right there. That's my boy. I'm glad to see you back on the field. Do your thing, man. Can't wait to play against you too.
Sunday was another example of a close one-possession game that goes your guys' way. Why does, a lot more often than not, those games seem to be ones that you guys come out on?
Yeah, I think, it just shows the perseverance that we have as a team, just being able to finish in those moments, being able to, when we were down in that game, be able to come back and finish strong, I think just shows, the fight that we have in this team. That's one thing Coach Tomlin always preaches on is just, every game is going to be a fight. It's the NFL, so every game is a tough game. And so I think, it just really shows, what type of team we have. Whenever we face adversity, we're able to, fight back and, get out of those close games.
In theory, though, those kind of games are coin flips, 50-50. You guys are winning them a lot more than 50% of the time. Is that sustainable? Is that just kind of how you guys are?
Yeah, I think, it just shows, our preparedness, for those moments, Coach Tomlin talks about, A players making plays, big time guys, coming up in big moments, making big plays. TJ's pick was huge at the beginning of the second half. I think it really set the trajectory for the whole half. You got Jalen and Najee, their touchdown as well. So a lot of guys making big plays in that game, really helped us.
Alex, they're not the same quarterback, but does it help having Lamar in them when you're facing a Lawrence where you face that type of quarterback or that type of running?
Yeah, absolutely. We know that in our division, we have guys, who are lethal on the ground. Trevor's the same way as well. He can throw it and he's a threat with his legs. So we know we got to keep him in the pocket. And we just really got to contain him because if we don't, he can get out. He can throw on the run and he can take off and just run.
Since the Houston game, have you seen the agenda of the other teams to try to push TJ wide, to line up wider and make him have to go wider in his pass routes? Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I definitely think so. You don't want to give that man many opportunities for one-on-ones, and so I think just what they're doing to be able to, teams, you see teams game planning against them in that way, putting tight ends on them and stuff like that, and so it's something they got to do to stop them. Yes, just getting chips throughout the game as well. This past couple of games as well, and so I think we're just trying to create a plan where we can both of us can be able to free up and rush on those third and longs and really pin our ears back.
For him to be able to do that, you've got to take over probably some other responsibilities.
Yeah, just knowing that when he goes out there, someone else has got to be the fourth rush on the outside, and so it's communication between him and the D lineman, and so I think the communication on that play was great. Ended up being a great play for us.
Alex, as a pass rusher, how much do you study James Harrison or watch him growing up?
Yeah, a lot. I wasn't a Steelers fan growing up. I was a Panthers fan, but James Harrison was one of those guys that I watched. Just seeing some of the moves that he did and just how he was able to bend around the corner and what he did was just so awesome. And so he was one of those guys too. Whenever I was in college, I was watching some of his film, seeing how he dipped around the edge. Because he's one of the best to do it.
I asked Mike yesterday what the similarities were between James Harrison and TJ Watt, and he laughed and he was like, it'd be easier to go through the differences. But are there things that you see that are similar either in their game or their preparation or their personality, how they approach things?
Yeah, just both of them, like I was saying, just being able to bend that corner and get around the edge. Both of them are elite at that, and just seeing how TJ been with him for 4 years now, just seeing how he finishes his rushes, and so there's sometimes where the lineman's got his arm on him, but he works an extra move to be able to break free, and that's what helps him get a lot of sacks. And so he's perfected that, getting to the top and then being able to bend around the corner.
And James Harrison had that interception in the Super Bowl. Obviously, interception last week wasn't the Super Bowl, but they both seem to have pretty good with their hands.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. But it's something that is done in practice. Whenever we do get the chance to drop in practice, we execute it in practice. So knowing that when we get called upon to do that in the game, we just got to do it to the best we can.
Just kind of walk us through that whole thing.
I just saw the ball snap, and the crowd. Shout out to the fans for real. It felt like a home game. So every time we're on defense, the crowd was into it. They kind of had to go silent count, and the tackle both weren't off the ball. And I like my chances in that situation.
Did you notice any tendencies from that tackle that kind of allowed you to get the win there?
I was just watching Alex and TJ ahead of me, working moves, doing the same kind of stuff. Just trying to dissect what they were doing throughout the game and how I could use it to my advantage when I get my opportunities.
I heard you say maybe you weren't supposed to rush that play. Was that true, or did you find that out? Or?
Yeah, kind of. It was kind of just if you watch the play, it was kind of just like a hurry up play, and we're kind of talking to each other, and I just saw the ball snap, so I let it rip.
Do you feel like you're getting more opportunities out there?
I just try to stay ready. I'm just there for Alex, TJ, and MG. Whenever those guys need a break, whenever they need a breather, I just gotta be ready to go in there and give it my best, because I really just try to focus on special teams, because that's my biggest role on this team right now. So I'm trying to focus in on that and be better in that every week. But obviously, when those guys need a breather, that's when I have a chance to show what I've been working on.
What were you supposed to do on that sack play?
What was that?
What were you supposed to do?
Just make a play. Just make a play.
Nick, how different is the challenge this week with Lawrence, and how do you, when you have a mobile quarterback, what's the key for at your position to try to limit what he can do?
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. He's a great quarterback. Fortunately, we see one of the best mobile quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson. Trevor Lawrence is a great player, man, and he makes plays. His eyes always down the field. I think quarterbacks that can extend plays are lethal, man. That's the way the game's trending right now. So he's a great player.
How has getting reps on special teams helped you grow as a pass rusher or overall as a player?
It's just it's just helping me, find my role on the team. Find that security and how I can help this team every week secure a W. And I think that just translates over to the way I go about practice, the way I approach every day, And Danny Smith he's a tough coach, So he's gonna be tough on you, but it's all love at the end of the day. So I think everything is gonna all fall into the same place.
All right, thank you, Nick. Thanks, Nick. You and Najee, talked about you guys talked over the bye week about things that worked for you guys in the run game. There was one play where Dan Moore Jr. pulls up right behind you. He goes in A gap, and it's him and you in the middle, kind of getting linebackers. Was that one of the plays that you guys talked about, or one of the concepts you guys wanted to see more of?
Yeah, we ran that play a few times this year, but again, it was just minor tweaks and alignment, splits, stuff like that. But obviously, I think it helped a little bit, obviously. It was good, and it was more to hear how he's seeing things and how we're seeing things, and I think the continuity is there.
It's nice to get back home for 3 here.
Yeah, big. Especially after a West Coast game, getting back home and having, we said we had 3 home games.
Yeah,
I'm in the chaos of the season, so focused on Jacksonville right now. But yeah, great to be back home. We got this week in a short week. But right now it's all about Jacksonville.
I think it's pretty undeniable right now, the fourth quarter magic that Kenny employs. It's perfect passing. How do you notice his demeanor? Does it change? Does it amplify? What is it like in the fourth quarter and in those big moments?
It doesn't change, man. He's steady Eddie. He's just he's a winner, man. In those big moments, he performs and executes, and I think we're starting to see that pretty consistently now.
At what point in the second half did you feel you were able to pick up momentum? Was there a specific play or a specific time?
First play of the second half, TJ picks the ball off, and 3 plays later we score a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think that momentum starting the second half was huge for us. Getting 7 points out of that interception was big for us, and just I felt like we built off that.
I know it's new in that game, running play wise, or did you just do what you've been doing better?
No. Again, all the schematics were pretty much the same. We obviously had a protection plan versus Aaron Donald that we executed, and maybe made some things hard, especially for the backs. We gave them a lot of responsibility, but for the most part, it was what we do. We just executed.
I know it's a team sport, Mason, but sometimes you guys feel pressure, maybe that you guys have to do something on offense to get things going sometimes when the defense does make plays for you.
Yeah, as Coach Chalmers said, you're either feeling pressure or you're applying it. We just got to apply it.
The play before Najee's touchdown was a play-action pass to Connor Hayward, and it was like a trap fake. And you guys have had like some success on some trap runs the last couple weeks. Is that something where like you maybe in the bye week or just specifically maybe when you put that plan in, it's like, okay, here's step one, and then here's how we can build off that. And is that something that maybe hasn't been happening earlier in the year?
Yeah, I think again, just building on some of our schematics that we used all season. I think that was a little trap pass with a boot off of it. Just kind of new footwork in the backfield for guys. Just kind of eye candy for the defense, and obviously it was successful.
Given the way some of those runs did hit, that meeting with Najee and kind of seeing what each other are looking at, is that something that you guys will do more of, continue to do, even as you don't have as much time as you would on the off week?
Yeah, I mean, again, Najee's been great. I'm picking our ear, and we're picking his. Just about things he likes, what he sees, what we see. So there's always room to get better, and we'll continue that.